now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and next to me is my trusted companion,
John Kearns. What's up, everybody?
We are back with AEW Dynamite and NXT reviews. And as usual, we will get into AEW first. Dynamite kicked off with a hell of a tag team battle royal. Now, John, you know that I do not like battle royals.
Right.
But this was actually well booked and fun and entertaining. Going into this, I wanted the Young Bucks to win for storyline purposes. Let's get into some of the spots. First, Jack Evans tried to jump on everyone, and they all caught him and threw him out. But you must eliminate both members of the team to be eliminated. The Dark Order was at ringside and distracted SCU. This allowed the Beaver Boys, aka the other members of the Dark Order, to eliminate SCU.
Right.
SCU went right after the Dark Order, and the Beaver Boys were quickly eliminated by the Young Bucks with super kicks. What did you like about this match, John?
I liked the fact that you had to eliminate both members of the team. It made for some awesome saving the match spots. Mm-hmm. Namely, Orange Cassidy saving Trent Beretta from getting eliminated after Chuck Taylor had already been eliminated.
Yes. But Chuck Taylor did run roughshod over Santana and Ortiz before he was eliminated. He put on a good showing. The Butcher and Luchasaurus went at it.
Yeah,
and
big boss fight.
They took each other out with a big kick and a lariat. I mean, I loved that. I'd like to see that again in the future.
Yeah.
Luchasaurus took out Angelico. Jungle Boy was eliminated by Santana and Ortiz. And then a bunch of guys eliminated Luchasaurus. The Blade was eliminated by trying to skin the cat. Matt Jackson and Trent help each other take on Santana and Ortiz and the Butcher, and then hug. Trent and the Butcher fight on the apron. The Bunny low blows Cassidy, and the Butcher eliminated Trent, which immediately led to Matt Jackson eliminating the Butcher with a spear through the middle rope. Matt hit a double Northern Lights suplex on Santana and Ortiz, but this did not stop Santana and Ortiz when they hit the Street Sweeper on Matt Jackson.
Right.
Sammy Guevara injected himself and jumped off the top, but got super kicked. Just like that. It was amazing. There was a point where Sema and the Stronghearts were eliminated, and Evil Uno offered a mask to Sema, and Sema walked away with it, thinking about joining the Dark Order.
Yeah.
The end came when Matt hit an amazing super kick to Guevara and then eliminated Santana for the win. He super kicked Ortiz off the apron, and the Bucks are going to Revolution.
Yes. Revolution already shaping up to be an amazing contest. The next contest on AEW was a match between Chris Statlander, the Galaxy's greatest alien, and Shanna.
I was really happy to see Shanna on an episode of Dynamite and not Dark. I feel like she is a rising star. And this match, really good back and forth, John.
Very good back and forth. We had Shanna taking a huge clothesline from Chris Statlander, following up with a Dragon Sleeper by Shanna on Statlander. Statlander with a huge roundhouse kick and a running European and a knee strike. It was just... This match was amazing. Statlander had a really good showing. I think her showing on Dark on Tuesday night was a little better than this match, but I'm definitely looking forward to her challenging Nyla Rose eventually for the AEW Women's title.
Shanna hit the Del Rio Tree of Woe stomp on Chris Statlander and a Tilt-A-Whirl DDT on Statlander for 2, but Statlander comes out victorious when she hit the Big Bang Theory. After this, Nyla Rose came out to speak with Tony Schiavone, said she's going to be a one-time champion because no one can beat her. Chris Statlander comes back out and boops the title. This brings out Big Swole, who starts talking trash, and it looks like we're going to get a 3-way fight on the stage, but security broke it up.
Yeah.
I thought this was a good segment.
Following up, we had Jon Moxley going one-on-one with the Inner Circle's hired gun, the hitman, Jeff Cobb.
Now, let's talk about Jeff Cobb for a minute. There's been reports that he wants to be a free agent. He wants to work with AEW, still do ROH dates, and work with New Japan. I personally hope that he signs full-time with AEW and ends up turning on the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
This match was an all-out brawl for most of it. The Inner Circle came down. Well, I think it was just Sammy, Hager, and Jericho. I don't think Ortiz and Santana were out there.
Yeah.
But they came down with tickets, which was confusing because Sammy was already on the show. Why would he need a ticket? We got a lot of powerful slams and body slams and suplexes from Cobb. Moxley targeted the leg of Cobb by slamming it off the post and locking in a heel hook. The end came when Cobb went for the Tour of the Islands. Moxley turned it into a paradigm shift, but Cobb pushed it off, hit a running uppercut, then a superplex, but Moxley got the best of it by turning it into a pin. As soon as the bell rung, the Inner Circle hit the ring. What happened next, John?
So, Inner Circle hits the ring. They're beating down Moxley. We hear Dustin's music start to play. Dustin comes barreling down to the ring, gets in there, pulls everybody off of Moxley, and him and Hager start going at it because we're getting that at Revolution. And then the lights went out. And when the lights came in, we heard a very familiar song for someone that has been absent or present by his absence for the past few weeks. The one and only Darby Allin. The lights
and
come
the
back.
The crowd was going wild.
Crowd
for
went
Darby.
nuts. Big pop. Darby Allin skates down to the ring, hits the ring, takes out Jericho, takes out Hager, and he's going right for Sammy Guevara because we're getting that at Revolution.
And then Cobb tried to throw Darby, but he landed on his feet. And then Moxley hit Cobb with the paradigm shift. Dustin took Hager out to the outside. Jericho turned around, and we finally got to see some action between Moxley and Jericho, where they traded blows until Jericho got out of dodge. This was a great segment leading up to 3 matches at Revolution. Sammy and Darby has not been confirmed, but we're probably going to get it.
Yeah. They both won it, and they've both said publicly that they want the match to happen.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen.
Then
I'll go. We had the penultimate contest, which, by the way, every one of these matches could have been a main event on any show. But this one in particular was insane. It was the AEW World Tag Team Championship match that saw Kenny Omega, the Queener, and Hangman Adam Page defending against Pentagon and Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers.
Yes, and as soon as this match picked up, it really picked up. At one point, Phoenix, Omega, and Pentagon were fighting on the apron. Phoenix walked across the rope and kneed Omega in the face. There was destroyers, there was V-triggers, there was lariats. Adam Page did a moonsault to the outside. Fall away slams galore. Super kicks. I mean, the list goes on and on. There was an assisted cannonball by Pentagon and Phoenix. The end came when Omega and Page hit the buckshot lariat into the V-trigger for the win. Afterwards, the Young Bucks came down to congratulate them, but of course, Page left and drank with the crowd as Omega stood with the Bucks. And at Revolution, the tag team titles will be on the line. Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page against the Young Bucks. I wonder what will happen with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see. We have seen Kenny pitted against the Bucks in New Japan, so it's not unheard of for this to happen. But it will be interesting to see what happens going forward. One thing I'd like to point out, it was pointed out on Twitter, but the attention to detail in the Tag Team Battle Royal. On Monday night's edition of Being the Elite, we saw Hangman Adam Page feeling somewhat insecure go to some of the teams that were in this Battle Royal and give them some information on certain weaknesses that the Young Bucks have. In the Tag Team Battle Royal, we saw the Hybrid 2 work Matt Jackson's back. We saw him get hit with a low blow, and Excalibur on commentary said it seems like the Hybrid 2 has some inside information. So that attention to detail is what needs to continue, and but it brings up a point that we've talked about before.
Being the Elite should be canon and should be promoted by AEW.
And clips should be shown during Dynamite, or at least during Dark.
Especially if they pertain to what's going on.
Because I'll tell you what, it's cool that they're rewarding people for paying attention, but not everybody pays attention.
Or even if they don't do that, consolidate your YouTube channels. Put Being the Elite on the AEW thing. Channel.
Put
AEW
put Dark on there.
You don't have to have 3 channels to where I'm going every week. But yeah.
But going away from that, I'm still excited about this. AEW Revolution could very well be one of the finest pay-per-view events of this year. But right now, we're going to talk about the main event of AEW Dynamite.
Well, actually, before we get into that, we get some announcements. Next week, The Butcher and the Blade versus Best Friends, and the 30-minute Iron Man match between Pac and Omega. So that will be something to look forward to. I can't wait to see the Iron Man.
Which, I will say, if the tag team titles were not involved, we would be seeing that match at Revolution.
Okay, so the main event was the steel cage match in which Cody had to win against Wardlow. This is Wardlow's first match for AEW, and Cody must win. This is the last stipulation to get MJF at Revolution. At first, Cody hit a big kick, but Wardlow was unfazed. Rhodes' uppercut and disaster kick do not take Wardlow down. We got a big lariat by Wardlow and a huge toss into the cage. Wardlow with some big suplex tosses. Wardlow smashed Cody's face off the cage and busted Cody open, Flair style.
Yeah.
This seemed to enrage Cody and give him his second win. Cody with 10 punches in the corner and an elbow, but then a low blow by Wardlow. A huge spinning slam like an F5 from Wardlow. Wardlow slams Cody into the door and it opens. MJF tries to convince Arn to turn on Cody and slam the door into Cody's face, but Arn slams it into MJF's face. 3 clotheslines take down Wardlow and a toss into the cage by Cody. A power slam for 2 by Cody. Gorilla press slam into the cage by Wardlow. And then the big man hits a swanton bomb for 2. Wardlow puts on the Dynamite ring, but Cody low blows Wardlow and puts the ring on. MJF tries to climb the cage, but Brandy hits him twice in the back with a steel chair. MJF seems unfazed and comes down. Looks like he's going to hit Brandy, but Arn Anderson throws his ass over the barricade.
Yeah.
We get a crossroads for 2, and then a moonsault off the top of the cage onto Wardlow, and Cody becomes victorious. Thus, the match at Revolution, MJF versus Cody, and this was an amazing episode of Dynamite. It had great action, great matches, great storytelling, great building up to Revolution. This episode of AEW Dynamite gets an A+ from me.
Definite A+. So, talk a little bit about Revolution. What are we going to see, Tim? We're going to see a whole lot of good shit.
We're probably going to see Sammy and Darby. We're going to see Cody versus MJF. We're going to see Dustin versus Hager in Hager's first match in AEW. We're going to see Le Champion put his belt on the line against Jon Moxley. We're going to see Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page against the Young Bucks. And I'm sure more to be announced.
Yeah.
They're not going to let Nyla Rose off that card. I imagine it's going to be against Chris Statlander. I'm sure within the coming weeks, Chris Statlander and Big Swole will have a number 1 contenders match, or they'll make it a triple threat. We are missing Jurassic Express off this card, which kind of saddens me because I'm always entertained by them.
Right.
But we have time. Same with Pac. Yeah, so let's get into NXT, shall we?
Let's get into NXT. Kicking off the show is the Undisputed Era. They show up, obviously, to gloat that Adam Cole is still your NXT champion. Roderick Strong is out there to promote his main event match with Velveteen Dream.
I like the line that Cole said. He said, Ciampa couldn't win because obsession never defeats destiny. As Roderick Strong is about to talk, Velveteen Dream's voice is heard, and he says, leave your boys at home and show Marina that you're a real man. Roderick Strong says, you were going to regret ever coming back. That was the end of segment 1. The first match on the card was the NXT Cruiserweight title match. Jordan Devlin defending against Lio Rush.
Rush was out there to take back his Cruiserweight title, of course being held by the Irish Ace, Jordan Devlin. One of my favorite spots in this match was Lio Rush trying to hit the come-up, the springboard stunner, and being thwarted by Jordan Devlin with a huge back suplex.
Yes.
What did you like?
I really love it when Lio Rush does the misdirection from the ropes. I felt like these two didn't have great chemistry together. John said it was an amazing match. To me, it was okay. For two great athletes and two great wrestlers, I felt that they just didn't gel really well.
That's fair.
The end came when we got a huge avalanche poison Rana and a come up for 2 by Lio Rush. He misses the final hour. Devlin, as soon as they get up, Devlin hits a huge headbutt and the Devlin side for the win. The right man won. Devlin's going to keep this title for a little while, I believe. But yeah, I just expected more from this match. Devlin wrestles more of a wrestler style than a cruiserweight style. Kind of like Brian Kendrick.
Right.
So it was kind of weird seeing that with Lio Rush. Anyway, After that,
That says we have 240 dropped frames.
what does that mean?
It means that YouTube is fucking up, bud.
I hope not.
Well, I'm noticing that it seems like, according to this, there are problems at YouTube right now. Like it's down.
What should we do?
This is a live outage map.
Sorry, folks. So should we just nix the whole thing and then do it later?
Oh, hold on. Let's see what's going on here.
Anyway,
Just keep going.
We see Raquel Gonzalez with Dakota Kai, and Raquel says Tegan has gotten every opportunity and Dakota has been pushed aside, and at the Performance Center she's been on that end a lot. Regal says in 2 weeks, Tegan versus Kai in a steel cage. Rhea Ripley walks by and the interviewer tries to get some words. Rhea simply says, even queens have nightmares, in a nice quick little interview. Austin Theory looks like he's here for a match, but Tommaso Ciampa comes down. Ciampa tells Theory, not tonight, I'm telling you, not tonight. Ciampa says he should have seen this all coming and was too focused on Goldie. The odd timing of a tag team reunion. If there's anything that stands in his way to the title, it's always Johnny Gargano. He isn't asking why, he knows why, and Johnny knows why. Theory tries something but gets knocked down by Ciampa. In order to get his life back, there can be no more Johnny Gargano in NXT. Theory goes to attack Ciampa on the outside, but Ciampa kicks him down, hits a knee, and throws him multiple times into the barricade over and over and over and over and over again. Poor Austin Theory, you were warned.
Yeah, he was warned.
The next match was the Grizzled Young Vets versus Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. The Grizzled Young Vets won with the ticket to Mayhem on Mendoza. I would have liked to have seen more of Wilde and Mendoza on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Mendoza got a hot tag, but it didn't last long. Joaquin Wilde did a Rana to Drake in a roll-up. I mean, they really didn't do much, which is sad because both of them are really good. Gibson cut an anti-American promo and said they're here to take over NXT. So be prepared to see more of the Grizzled Young Vets on regular NXT programming.
I'm all about it.
The Broserweights then come out. Riddle wants to know where the card is. Dunn says Riddle managed to get it impounded, but all that matters is that they are the new tag team champions.
Yeah, this is followed up by Matt Riddle explaining to everyone that the trophy had violated the wellness policy and been suspended for 30 days.
Yeah, he said the Stallion Dunn is a machine, but Stallion Cup parties too hard. We got the Broserweights versus the returning from 205 Live, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. This was a great hard-hitting match. It was nice to see Lorcan and Burch back again. Burch and Dunn had a lot of similar offense. Riddle, Lorcan goes wild until Dunn splits Lorcan's fingers, and we get the bitter end knee combo, giving the Bruiserweights the win, and then they celebrate in the crowd. Keith Lee comes down, and before he can say anything, the finest, Kona Reeves, comes down. He asks for a mic, but Lee just pounces him into the corner and says ring the bell. Lee hits the Big Bang Catastrophe ASAP for the win. Dominik Dijakovic comes down and said he's sorry, but he's not ready to move on just yet. Dijakovic says if he could have hit Feast Your Eyes, he would have won. Keith cuts him off and says, if is all he hears is if. You could say, if this happened, you could have won, but I ultimately won. No matter where they go, he hears one thing, and the crowd chants, fight forever. Lee says if Dijakovic can convince Regal, he has no problem fighting forever. So this feud is not over.
Not at all.
Which I'm happy about.
Yes.
We then got Chelsea Green versus Kaden Carter. Kaden Carter with all the fast lucha-style roll-ups and whatnot. Green taking advantage of that and hitting backbreakers and stomping on the hair. Bianca Belair interrupts the match, gets in the ring, and has a mic. She says, you don't even go here, but now I want you to. It doesn't matter where or when, over there or here, but Charlotte Flair, I'ma whoop that ass. She exits the match. She exits and the match continues. Robert Stone trips Carter, and Green hits the Unprettier for the win, getting her win back from Kaden Carter from a few weeks prior. We then get the main event, Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong. This is the first match in 5 months for Velveteen Dream.
Right.
John, go ahead.
So, you know that I, maybe more than anyone else, am a Velveteen Dream mark.
Mm-hmm.
I do not understand where this thing with Marina Shafir is coming from. I do not understand where this thing with Roderick's son is coming from.
It's all head games.
Strong, it's all head games being done by a babyface. Isn't Roderick Strong supposed to be the heel in this feud? Isn't Velveteen Dream supposed to be getting revenge for them almost breaking his back?
Right. So he's using heel tactics to get in the head of Roderick Strong, but to babyface reactions.
Yeah, it's very odd.
I agree. This match...
However, the match itself was fantastic, which clearly it was Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream.
And I felt it had odd pacing, but it was good. Like the mind games, there was a lot of in and out of the ring.
Yeah.
A lot of punches being thrown. A lot of here and there. Velveteen Dream took off his bodysuit to again reveal Marina on his spray painted on his pants.
Front and back.
Front and back.
Strategically placed, as Beth Phoenix pointed out.
Dream won with a Dream Valley driver, but as soon as he won, the Undisputed Era comes down and beats Velveteen Dream. The end of the show has them standing tall after an end of heartache by Roderick Strong, so it seems like this feud is not over either. Yeah, the match was good. It was like a little taste or a teaser for what's to come, I feel. This episode of what I really liked about NXT's show was the interviews, the vignettes, the promos. Usually every week NXT has the better matches than AEW, and AEW has the better overall show, but I felt like this week, the promos and such on NXT was very
AEW
good.
vastly outperformed NXT this week.
Yes. As I gave AEW an A+, I'm giving NXT a B+.
That's fair. I agree with that assessment.
All right. Well, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one, and peace and love to all of you. Bang!